so-called tradwife movement. It's when a woman believes in returning to traditional gender roles, if you like, focusing on supporting their husband by raising their children, cooking, cleaning and all of that. Now, it comes as the Duchess of Sussex and stars like Gwyneth Paltrow have been promoting this homemaking trend, if you like. That's Gwyneth topless cooking. Bit dangerous, if you ask me. But is this all having a damaging effect on feminism and the idea that women can have it all? Well, join me now. That's why I don't cook for my husband, because I am so bad at it, and he does it.
So kind of
yes, I am.
Meghan Sussex is out here living her best life. Peaceful, radiant, making lunch for her husband like it's a love story, not a war crime, while Lorraine Kelly seems to have appointed herself the unofficial president of the Bitter Brigade. Honestly, if Lorraine spent as much time on her own happiness as she does on critiquing Meghan, she'd be walking around with Beyoncé-level joy. Let's be real. Meghan decides to cook for her man and raise her own kids, and suddenly it's a national emergency in Lorraine's world. Girl, are you okay? It's 2025, not 1955. Women can make empowered choices even if they involve spatulas and baby wipes. Meghan is over here choosing love, family and sanity, while Lorraine is choosing salt, spice and an extra scoop of unnecessary commentary. And yet, despite the passive-aggressive potshots dressed up as concern, Meghan doesn't flinch. Not once. She's like a Zen ninja in heels, graceful, composed, and 100% unbothered. Meanwhile, Lorraine is busy acting like Meghan's domestic bliss is some sort of threat to modern civilization. Newsflash, Lorraine, if Meghan being happy rattles your cage, maybe it's time to check the hinges on your own emotional stability. Every time Lorraine throws shade, it ends up spotlighting her own issues louder than a car alarm at 3 a.m. Jealousy? Projection? Who's to say? But Meghan's serenity turns those jabs into boomerangs that come right back at their source, except they land with a comedic thud instead of grace. At the end of the day, Meghan's just minding her business, raising her family, and thriving in a way that clearly rattles some cages. She's not just weathering the storm, she is the calm in it. And Lorraine? She's still stuck trying to throw verbal glitter bombs, while Meghan's already walked off into the sunset, sipping tea and probably baking a damn fine pie. Here we go again. Lorraine Kelly just can't keep Meghan Sussex's name out of her mouth, can she? At this point, we half expect Lorraine to release a cookbook titled Meals I Didn't Cook, but Meghan did, and I'm mad about it. Honestly, Lorraine's obsession is starting to feel less like commentary and more like a crush gone wrong. This week's episode of Grumble with Lorraine features her latest gripe. Meghan dared to cook for her husband and be an actual hands-on mum. Cue the dramatic gasp. Apparently, being loving and involved in your own home is now grounds for public shaming, if your name is Meghan Sussex, that is. Because instead of minding her own burnt toast, Lorraine's decided to label Meghan a tradwife, like she's some Stepford bot from the 1950s, just because she knows how to make a lasagna and show up for her kids. Let's be real, this isn't concern, it's jealousy, lightly sautéed in passive aggression and served with a side of bitterness. Lorraine openly admits she doesn't cook for her own husband, which is fine. But instead of saying, hey, different strokes for different folks, she basically lights a torch and starts roasting Meghan like she's Sunday dinner. If that's not projection, then Lorraine must be watching the wrong movie, because the main character here is clearly Meghan, and Lorraine's just throwing popcorn from the cheap seats. What's truly impressive, though, is Meghan's complete unshakable grace. While Lorraine's out here tossing insults like confetti at a pity party, Meghan's busy thriving. Raising her kids, working hard, loving deeply and not clapping back, even though she totally could. That's power. That's poise. That's a level of chill Lorraine couldn't reach if she climbed a ladder in a walk-in freezer. Every snarky comment Lorraine drops only ends up highlighting her own insecurities. It's like watching someone try to extinguish a candle with a hairdryer. It's loud, it's unnecessary, and it just blows everything out of proportion. Meanwhile, Meghan remains the glowing, grounded, gorgeous reminder that women can choose whatever kind of life they want. Apron's optional. So while Lorraine's over there stirring up drama because she's run out of spice in her own life, Meghan's just minding her joy, serving love and proving that peace isn't the absence of critics. It's the ability to ignore them entirely. Mic drop. Meghan stays winning. Lorraine Kelly, the queen of unsolicited opinions and half-baked hot takes, doesn't cook for her own husband, which, cool, that's her business. But instead of sipping her tea quietly, she takes that fact, shoves it into a judgment cannon, and launches it straight at Meghan Sussex, who's over here just living her life, making dinner, raising kids, and minding her own joyful business. The audacity is practically airborne. Lorraine isn't offering commentary. She's hosting her own internal grudge match live on air. Every time Meghan does something warm, loving or, God forbid, traditional, Lorraine acts like she's just witnessed a crime against feminism. Spoiler alert. Cooking for your husband doesn't revoke your right to vote. Let's call it what it is. This isn't journalism. It's a full-blown, passive-aggressive tantrum disguised as media insight. Lorraine isn't critiquing Meghan's lifestyle out of concern for gender roles or family dynamics. She's critiquing it because it makes her uncomfortable. Meghan's calm, contented, home-cooked, hands-on life is like garlic to Lorraine's vampire energy. She simply cannot handle it. And honestly, it's giving big insecurity vibes. Lorraine's over there like, I don't cook for my husband, and I'm fine with that, but how dare Meghan cook for hers? Ma'am, if you're secure in your choices, you don't need to rage tweet every time someone else makes a casserole. Meanwhile, Meghan's just vibing, raising her kids, loving her man, building a life of peace and purpose. She's not clapping back, she's not playing petty. She's too busy being emotionally intelligent and spiritually moisturized. Her peace is louder than Lorraine's shade, and it's driving her critics absolutely bonkers. You'd think with all the time Lorraine spends talking about Meghan, she'd at least try to understand her. But no, she's too busy stirring a pot she never learned how to cook in. Jealousy is a tough dish to swallow, especially when it's served cold and bitter. At the end of the day, Meghan's grace under fire is elite. Where others scream into the void for validation, cough Lorraine, cough, Meghan just keeps on doing what works for her. She's not looking for applause, she's looking after her family, herself and her peace of mind. And that's real strength. So Lorraine can keep throwing shade like it's confetti at a pity party. Meghan will just keep dancing through it like the queen she is. Hair tied, apron on, kids hugged, husband fed, and not a single you-know-what given. At this point, it's less Lorraine Kelly hosting a morning show and more Lorraine Kelly, the unauthorised Meghan Sussex obsession tour. Seriously, is there a punch card? One more petty comment, and she gets a free side-eye. It's a disturbing pattern. Every time Meghan Sussex so much as breathes near a stove or hugs her children, Lorraine shows up like a judgmental spectre from the land of the unfulfilled, clutching her pearls and serving another round of unsolicited bitterness. And the kicker? Lorraine openly admits she doesn't cook for her husband, but instead of owning that like a grown adult secure in her choices, she goes full Mean Girls cafeteria table. You cook for your husband? That's like so 1950s. As if love now comes with an expiration date, and Meghan missed the feminist memo. Here's the thing, this isn't journalism. It's not even a spicy opinion. It's one woman projecting her personal discontent onto another woman who, gasp, enjoys nurturing her family and doing so with the elegance of someone who's clearly living rent-free in Lorraine's mind. Because let's be honest, Meghan's poise, calm and unbothered energy must really hit a nerve. Lorraine watches Meghan serenely making pasta in her kitchen while laughing with her kids, and something inside her just breaks. Maybe it's the microwave dinner. Maybe it's the unresolved issues. Who's to say? Instead of saying, hey, different choices for different folks, Lorraine goes straight to, let me spin this into a judgment-laced insult on the national TV. It's giving High School Mean Girl with a primetime slot. And the audience? Starting to notice. Every time Lorraine drops Meghan's name like it's some kind of gotcha moment, it's painfully obvious that this isn't commentary, it's therapy she didn't pay for. Meghan isn't the problem. Meghan's just the mirror. And Lorraine? Well, she clearly doesn't like what she sees. Meanwhile, Meghan's not flinching. She's over there raising her babies, cooking her dinners, building her life, and absolutely thriving. She's not caught in the drama, she's above it, baking cookies and not giving a damn. That's power. That's peace. That's the kind of energy Lorraine can't even pronounce. So while Lorraine continues her one-woman crusade to turn Meghan's domestic bliss into a scandal, the rest of us are watching this slow-motion meltdown and thinking, girl, take a walk, touch some grass, eat a home-cooked meal. Preferably not one Meghan made, though, because at this point that would just hurt too much. Thank you all for watching. It's your host, Tyler. Love you all. Goodbye.